There is no better feeling as an NFL fan to know that you have your franchise quarterback. A Patriots fan never had to worry about who was going to be their guy for 2 decades. Chiefs fans, although it's not gone great this year, know that they have their franchise quarterback, somebody that's won multiple Super Bowls. And then you also have people like me, a Pittsburgh Steelers fan that has been looking for their franchise quarterback every single year since Ben Roethlisberger retired. So for today's video, we are going to be doing a franchise quarterback tier list, basically just going through every single NFL team and just bringing up the question, does your team have the franchise quarterback for the future, somebody that you could legitimately build around and could be the guy that could take you to the promised land? Because maybe Bengals fans thought at one point Andy Dalton was their franchise quarterback. Ravens thought Joe Flacco was a franchise quarterback. He did win a Super Bowl, and it's something that could set your franchise back for a couple years, or it obviously gives you breathing room going forward. And imagine you have your franchise quarterback under a rookie contract as well. That's when you can really maximize your roster construction. So today we're pretty much going to be dropping every single most notable quarterback on 32 NFL franchises into a tier list until he either retires or you eventually had to move on because he's so old. Yes, for now, they could be the guy for now, but how much grace can we give them? A big decision soon. I think there's been some good, maybe there's been some bad, and maybe they're still latching on to a good season they had a couple years ago. Maybe they're still a youngish player and they're going to have a big decision soon. Maybe, I can see it, but it could go either way. That one could also be 50-50, needs more time, which I think it's kind of unfair to know if they're the franchise guy or not and just flat out no. I'm not sure if I'm going to take out a tier in this. Maybe I take out maybe in this, especially if I'm not putting anyone's throughout there. So we'll start off with Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love's a franchise quarterback. Now, this is a tough one to start off because the advanced numbers love Jordan Love this year. No pun intended. He's kind of had a carousel in receiver with all his receivers basically being hurt in Watson, Reed, Matthew Golden, kind of not living up to expectations as a first round pick. He's done a little bit with Bo Melton, Dontavion Wicks. His starting tight end, Tucker Kraft, tore his ACL. Josh Jacobs has been banged up at times this year. And I feel like Love has still produced. There's a part of me that says okay, if this franchise quarterback tier is only going to be 6 guys, then he's going to go down for now. So I'll just put him up here, but there's a chance, Packers fans, I drop him down to here, which is the second best you can get. He is your franchise quarterback, but say you never get over the hump. I'm not going to say he's maybe Jared Goff, right? Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl with the Rams in 2018, but was he always locked in as the franchise guy? No, and the chance they had to upgrade, they took that opportunity. So maybe I'll put him in here and then I could bump up Love to franchise quarterback. Next up, funny enough, we have Jared Goff. I would say yes for now as well. He's really good in this Detroit Lions offense. He's really good when it's warm out or he's in a dome. He is not that good when he's got to go on the road in cold weather, which is something you got to do, especially if you're not going to be the 1 seed in the NFC this year like you were last year. Jared Goff clearly has his limitations as a franchise quarterback. I just don't think there's a big decision soon either. We know what he is at this point. He's been in the NFL for a decade. He's making a lot of money, and I just don't know if there's a better option out there for Detroit going forward. Maybe a couple years ago, I would have said big decision soon because he had that contract extension looming after getting traded from the Rams to the Lions for Matthew Stafford when he was already on that massive contract from Los Angeles. I just think he's going to be here. He's really good with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Amir Gibbs and Jameson Williams and Sam Laporta. I know he's got not a perfect situation, but pretty close to it. I still think he's their franchise guy for now. I just Love is a lot younger, so it makes him more intriguing as a franchise guy than Goff. And I think has a higher ceiling and is maybe as an individual, a more talented quarterback. JJ McCarthy. So I'm not going to say no. That would be just dumb. He's played less than 10 games or started less than 10 games in his NFL career. You could maybe say maybe. I just think he needs more time. There's been some good this year. There's been a little bit more bad. Obviously, he's not had some great games, but there's guys like Jared Goff early in their careers, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, that looked abysmal at the start of their NFL career, and they just need more time to develop. I trust Kevin O'Connell to develop JJ McCarthy. It's weird, especially against the Cowboys. JJ McCarthy looks so good throwing it to anybody else outside of his future Hall of Fame receiver in Justin Jefferson. So I don't know what's going to go on with those guys moving forward in Minnesota, their connection, their chemistry. I just think it would be inconsiderate of me to say no, which is the small sample size we've seen from McCarthy, where he's played good enough in small stints. It's not like he's been bad every single snap of his career. Next up, we have Caleb Williams. I want to say that he's going to be the franchise quarterback. I don't think he really needs more time. I love Caleb Williams coming out of USC into that 2024 draft. I never gave up on him last year. I think it was a hot take, but I said I would still take Caleb Williams #1 in a redraft with the year Jaden Daniels had. Now, today, you're probably going to say it's Drake May. Maybe you really like Bo Nix. I want to say that he is a franchise quarterback, but maybe there's more franchise quarterbacks than I think. Like maybe I bump up Love here because I feel like if I have Caleb here, which I do think he's a franchise guy, but it's still, do I put maybe for Caleb just because he's played more than JJ McCarthy. He's shown more flashes, but I don't want this maybe tier to feel like it's like the fourth best tier. Like you could definitely be the guy. Maybe I bump big decision soon down and he's like a maybe here because I do think he will be their franchise quarterback going forward. Jalen Hurts. Oh boy. You know what's crazy? Like he's the reigning Super Bowl champion quarterback, but he has had some bad moments this year. You could say it's Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, but AJ Brown has been solid as of late. This offense as a whole has taken a step back. It could be the offensive line being banged up. Saquon Barkley hasn't looked as effective as he did last year, but when you have like that monster season in terms of touches, you're bound for regression. I was never the biggest Jalen Hurts fan as an individual, but like Jared Goff, he's put in the perfect situation, and he's somebody that can win in this perfect situation as well. Last year with an elite O-line, the best running back, 2 elite receivers, a good offensive-minded coordinator in Kellen Moore, and then obviously an elite defense to back him up as well. I think there's actually going to be a big decision soon because the Eagles won the Super Bowl, not with like the guy, but it was Nick Foles back in 2017, and they were not afraid to draft Jalen Hurts with Carson Wentz as the guy on the roster. I think there are clear flaws in Jalen Hurts' game. I don't know if it's going to change anytime soon. This one could be a hot take. Maybe you should say that it's yes for now, but it's a tough fan base in Philadelphia. As we get further removed from that Super Bowl victory, like I said, it gets tough. He did play great in their Super Bowl a couple years ago against the Chiefs, in which they lost. Then they had a little bit of regression when they lost Shane Steichen to the Indianapolis Colts. They lose to the Bucs in the divisional round, and then they win the Super Bowl last year, and Hurts did what he needed to do. Maybe it's not soon. Maybe it's more yes for now. I just think like these guys are in a better spot in Love and Goff's. Like, I don't know. Like, when I say big decision soon, I don't think it will be this year or in the offseason. But if Hurts, like say the Eagles go out in the divisional round and Hurts has the same struggles next year, maybe there is going to be a big decision soon. So I'm going to put him yes for now. I got to give him grace. He just won the Super Bowl, but I think there's a chance that he could go down to here very soon. Next up, we have Jaden Daniels. Like, I want to say maybe, like, I don't know. It does feel like these guys are franchise quarterbacks for now. I would say maybe. I don't know. Jaden Daniels was so good last year, and he's been so banged up this year. It's been a terrible environment in Washington. They did not make the right moves in the 2025 offseason, coming off a season in which I think we can all say that they overachieved, which isn't a bad thing, but they thought they were better than they actually were, and they took a massive step back this year. Like, I think these two guys are franchise quarterbacks. I just don't know if I could put them in like franchise quarterback for sure, because if I went to you today and said I could give you a 15-year contract, would you do that basically for these guys? I don't know. Dak Prescott, I would say yes for now. I think he's pretty much, you know what? I'm actually going to bump Hurts down to maybe, because I still don't know if he's the guy going forward. This one is tough. I wonder if like my tiers are kind of messed up, but Dak Prescott, I honestly think Dak is a franchise quarterback. I think he's more talented than Love. I don't know though, but Love has been just as good this year in a way, and Dak's a little bit older. So I would say yes for now, but I don't think that's ever going to change, honestly. He just got a massive extension from Dallas. I think when I get more names up here, it's easy to kind of differentiate everything going forward. Baker. Might put Baker in big decisions soon. I don't know. Baker's been good this year at the start. Now he's been banged up. The offensive line's been banged up. He was too good last year, even though they lost to the Commanders. He was really good 2 years ago, too, when they ended up beating the Eagles in the divisional round. It's just like Mike Evans gets hurt. Godwin's been banged up this year. McMillan was banged up this year. Ibuka's taken a little bit of a step back, but that could also come down on Baker. His starting running back, Bucky Irving, has been banged up this year. Todd Bowles might not be here next year either. I think I might drop him in maybe. I don't know if this decision is going to be made soon, to be honest with you. I want to put Hurts down, but I'm scared to. I really am going forward. Bryce Young. I think there's a big decision soon. Like, this guy could also go in maybe, but I think as we get further removed from them drafting and trading up for him with the #1 overall pick in the 2023 draft, I mean, the Panthers might win the division this year, which could give him another year or two. Do you want to overpay for Bryce Young, kind of like Daniel Jones going forward? Like, remember when Daniel Jones ended up beating the Minnesota Vikings, having that really good year with the first year with Brian Daboll a couple years ago, and the Giants gave him $40 million, when in hindsight, they should have just tagged him, and they wouldn't have had to commit all that long-term money. I think there's going to be a big decision soon because a couple weeks ago, you would have said probably not for Bryce Young, where he hasn't taken the steps going forward. Then he has that really good game against the Rams, showing that he's not just an Atlanta Falcons merchant this year. So we'll see what ends up happening with Bryce Young. This isn't like a bad tier by any means. I just think there's a big decision soon, and we want to see how he plays down the stretch. Like Baker has the track record. Daniels and Caleb Williams maybe have had better individual performances like so far stretches than Bryce Young has had in his career, and these guys have obviously built up enough credibility in the league. Michael Penix, oh boy, like I want to say needs more time because he wasn't a full-time starter last year. He gets banged up. I'm just so worried about the health concerns, and there were some good moments this year. There were also some bad moments. I have no idea if Raheem Morris is going to be back next year. The wide receiver depth on this team isn't great outside of Drake London. Kyle Pitts, I think, is all better than we maybe give him credit for, and he's been balling as of late with Kirk Cousins, but is he even going to be on this team next year? He's a free agent. He may go elsewhere. I'm going to say that Penix needs more time, but honestly, there could be a big decision soon with Penix, given his age. Like, he's a decent amount older than JJ McCarthy. He's got the injury history, and I just don't know if Atlanta's going to go in that direction soon. So I think there is a big decision. They weren't afraid to draft Penix when they gave Kirk Cousins all that money. It's just they also don't own their first round pick this year. I think there's going to be a big decision soon, and that could come in the offseason, not like replacing Penix, but bringing in that bridge quarterback, bringing in that Sam Darnold versus JJ McCarthy in a way, bringing in that Daniel Jones versus Anthony Richardson, something like that. Matthew Stafford, I mean, it's tough because he's so old. He doesn't have that many years left. Like, he is a franchise guy. He might win MVP this year, so I'm going to throw him up in there. Obviously, Jordan Love, Dak, I mean, all these guys that I've talked about will play longer than Matthew Stafford. So, like, if you think yes for now, meaning he's going to retire, that's fine. But I think as an individual talent right now, he is your franchise quarterback. You're not even thinking about an upgrade because it's not really possible unless you're getting one of the top 3 untouchable quarterbacks in the league, top 4 untouchable quarterbacks. I don't really think that you're getting, like, you're not moving on from Matthew Stafford. You're not even thinking of that unless he wants to get paid $80 million a year and he didn't look like an MVP this year, something like that. Kyler, yeah, no, I don't think, I mean, we could put him in big decisions soon. Like, Kyler had his moments, but how long ago were those moments? 2020, 2021, where he was the franchise guy, earned him a big extension from the Cardinals, which was a head-scratching extension at the time. I think the big decision soon is fine because he's talented enough to, I think, be like, I don't know. I think if you plop Kyler maybe in Philadelphia, maybe in Tampa Bay, something like that, right? In just a better environment, he could be almost as good as Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts. So I think he still has the talent to be a franchise quarterback. It's just not going to happen in Arizona. There is a big decision soon. They're probably going to trade him or cut him in the offseason. Sam Darnold, I would say yes for now. I don't think you can lock him in as like the franchise guy long-term. He got up to a great start this year. Been some inconsistent games as of late. They have a huge Thursday night game tomorrow going up against the Rams. Winner has sole possession of the NFC West, and we got to see what he can do in the playoffs, right? Did not look good in week 18 last year against Detroit, and then they ended up losing in the divisional round to the LA Rams. So I want to see Sam Darnold perform, or at least look competent in the playoffs and on the biggest stage, but you got to be pleased so far if you're John Schneider and you're just kind of the Seattle Seahawks front office. Maybe that's a Mike McDonald thing. Maybe that's a JSN thing. Maybe that's the offensive line just being better than what it was last year. Lamar, probably, no, I'm just kidding. Obviously, he's a franchise quarterback. I know it's been a down year for the Ravens, and I feel like Lamar is probably playing through multiple injuries, but the offensive line has been a carousel. As much as, like, I appreciate Zay Flowers and, like, Mark Andrews, I don't know. Like, Matthew Stafford has Puka Nacua, and he has Devontae Adams. Jared Goff has maybe some of the best weapons. Same with Jalen Hurts. Like, JSN is a lot better than Zay Flowers, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens. And then I'll give Jordan Love some grace there as well, because I don't think his weapons are as good as the other guys up here. Lamar is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You can make a great argument he should have won MVP last year. Maybe this is me as a pessimistic Steelers fan, but I still think they win the AFC North this year with starting off whatever it was, 1-5, 1-4 this year. Joe Burrow, oh man, like, individually, he's a franchise quarterback. Like, Joe Burrow is the franchise talent that you commit to long-term. But, like, for Cincinnati, that's why I kind of wanted to have, like, their logos up here as well. Like, are they going to have to trade him? Is he going to retire at the end of the year? I still think he's your franchise guy no matter what. And Cincinnati has to get their head out of their ass and, like, cater to your franchise quarterback who's been maybe pure talent, your best quarterback in franchise history. Like, honestly, I remember the Andy Dalton days with Marvin Lewis. They weren't great. They weren't great. This is a guy that beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, almost beat him twice, and almost won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And you've neglected paying the receivers until it was too late. You neglected the offensive line. You neglected the whole defensive unit. And you also haven't really hit on many of your draft picks either, letting Jesse Bates walk, just the whole Trey Hendrickson fiasco. He's going to leave for nothing, most likely in the offseason. Poor Joe Burrow. And I hope the front office, like, I would just feel so bad for their fan base if they traded this almost generational talent, like part of one of the greatest college teams, at least this century. And then you take him number one. He's had so many injuries because of the incompetence of them building up the offensive line. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, this is an easy one. I mean, you could say big decision soon because he's going to retire. No. It doesn't mean you're a bad quarterback. Like, Aaron Rodgers this year is better than Kyler Murray. He's better than JJ McCarthy. You can make an argument he's better than Jalen Hurts just this year, but he's 42 years old, and he looks old out there as well. He can still make some really good throws. The Arthur Smith offense is so confusing. We're running halfback tosses to Jonnu Smith. It worked against the Dolphins. I doubt it's working against like the Chargers in the playoffs or the New England Patriots or anything like that. So Rodgers has looked fine this year. He has looked better this year, I would say. Like, Russ had his moments last year, and Fields even had his moments for the Steelers. I'll say Rodgers has looked about the same as Russell Wilson last year for the Steelers. I just think they have maybe a little bit better weapons. Year two, Arthur Smith, but he's not a franchise quarterback. He's 42 years old, and this isn't Tom Brady on the Bucs yet. Now he's probably going to retire at the end of the year. Tua, no. I could say big decision soon, like kind of a cop out. They just benched him for Quinn Ewers. It's done. They're either going to cut him or trade him and have to eat so much money, which is a shame because of how good he looked with Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill a couple years ago, and it's just been going downwards ever since. I don't know if that's the head injuries for Tua. I don't know if that's maybe his willingness to just get better in the system and adapting, and he's not really great in cold weather whatsoever either. That could come back on what Chris Greer built in the front office before he got let go. The offensive line not being great. The defense has kind of been a disaster as well. So yeah, Tua is obviously not your franchise quarterback. Josh Allen, franchise quarterback, the reigning MVP, probably the favorite to win the AFC this year, going to be one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl now that the Chiefs are not in the playoffs. And yeah, like, you're giving Josh Allen a lifetime contract. You should be giving Lamar Jackson a lifetime contract. I know anybody could have traded for him a couple off seasons ago, and then he just rattled off almost back-to-back MVP seasons. Joe Burrow, you're giving a lifetime contract as well if he doesn't leave you first. And Stafford, you would give him a lifetime contract, but he's like 38 years old. Drake May, kind of want to put him in franchise quarterback. Like, I'm pretty sure Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are there, but Drake May, honestly, this year looks better, in my opinion, than Jaden Daniels last year. He's going to have the record to show for it, although the Commanders had a good record last year. A little bit younger than what Jaden Daniels was last year as well. And I just think he's had the really big wins this season. He looks so good, but still, like, Keyshawn Boutte, Stephon Diggs at his age, Pop Douglas, Hunter Henry, like, not great weapons around him. And he still looked good against, like, the Bills with no Will Campbell, who's been out for a little bit. And this offensive line can still get a lot better. And Drake May even had his flashes last year with the disastrous season under Gerard Mayo. So, yeah, he's a franchise quarterback going forward. But Bears fans and Commanders fans, I'd love to know if you think these guys should be up here. I don't know. Like, maybe I bump these guys into here because, like, they are your franchise guy for now until we get further away from, like, Jaden Daniels' rookie season, Caleb Williams' number one draft pick status. So maybe these guys go in here. Like, I feel like it's disrespectful to Baker. Like, he is for now. Like, that's also kind of like a maybe thing. I don't know. It's kind of tough to figure out how I'm going to finish out with this. Maybe I just get rid of the maybe tier. We're going to have Justin Fields and no. Yeah. It's been a disaster. They gave him a 2-year deal, pretty much fully guaranteed. So mostly. So he's going to be on the Jets next year. I have no idea if he's going to be splitting reps with Mac Jones, Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, you name it. I just don't think they're going to roll into week 1 with Justin Fields as the starter. He will be a backup. And honestly, as long as he can still make plays with his legs, he's going to be a backup until he loses a step going forward. Trevor Lawrence, maybe. I can't tell with this guy. It's like, he looks like the Clemson generational talent we thought he was coming out of the 2021 draft one week, and the other week, he's just making Will Levis type plays. Now, he looked unreal against the Jets. So I don't want to put too much stock into that with this Jets team. Kind of their season's over. They trade away Quinnen Williams. They trade away Sauce Gardner. And I've always said this year, if you have a really good game against the Bengals, against the Cowboys, and now I'm putting the Jets in there, I do not want to don't overthink that, right? Like, anybody can look competent against those teams. Aaron Rodgers was unreal against the Bengals on that Thursday night this year. Everybody looks good against the Cowboys, so I do not want to overreact to those games. CJ Stroud, like maybe. I think he's the same as Trevor Lawrence. He's looked good as of late. He's looked good, and the Bobby Slovic era didn't end too well. He peaked so far in his rookie year. Trevor Lawrence, I guess you could say he's peaked in year 2, but I would say year 1 with Cohen, even with Travis Hunter being hurt and Brian Thomas Jr. taking a step back, it's been a good sign. Like, maybe it's not a bad tier to be in by any means. Maybe I feel like Baker goes up here. Like, these guys are younger. Baker's a little bit older than these guys. So yeah, I'm going to bump up Baker in here. I think that was disrespectful to Baker. Daniel Jones. Like, I want to say needs more time because I wanted to see him more as the guy in Indianapolis. He's saying that he'll be ready for opening week next year. I don't know. It's an Achilles injury. We'll see. Like, Kyler Murray, I remember he got hurt in like December of 2023. And he didn't debut pretty late until the 2024 season. My years could be off by 1. And then I'm going to say Daniel Jones is big decision soon is like, do they tag him? Is he back next year? Maybe Daniel Jones. Like, he looked like a guy, but like he doesn't have the track record. I think a big decision is going to be made soon with Daniel Jones. Like, and we just need to figure out what happens off the Achilles tear because that's a little scary. Cam Ward needs more time. He's looked like a franchise quarterback, I think, in stints this year, but his receivers, I don't want to be mean, but they kind of suck for a rookie quarterback. And usually when you're drafted number 1, you're going to the worst environment. Offensive line's been a mess. His head coach gets fired. His receivers are dropping balls left and right. His $90 million receiver, Calvin Ridley, is not even going to be on this team next year. And the defense doesn't keep them in games either. So Cam Ward has made some really nice plays this year. It's just he's thrown into like the worst position. I think he'll be a franchise quarterback. I hope a competent head coach takes this job next year. Patrick Mahomes off the ACL tear under Matt Nagy, probably big decision soon if they're going to cut. No, he's obviously still a franchise quarterback. He's looked really good this year, even though the Chiefs' record isn't great. Obviously, they were going to regress in one-score games compared to what they were last year. Rashee Rice misses time. Xavier Worthy has not looked good for a first-round pick, I'll say. Travis Kelce looks old out there. They've had no running game. The offensive line has been banged up. And I think Patrick Mahomes has been able to do as much as he can with maybe Matt Nagy not being a good offensive coordinator and maybe Andy Reid being past his prime a little bit as a head coach. If I had to rank these guys, I mean, like, Stafford's obviously last because he's the oldest. Jeez, this is tough. Like, I still want to go Mahomes 1. Like, Joe Burrow might retire tomorrow, so I don't know. Lamar, like, I think he's going to be fine even when his legs aren't as scary as they are now. I don't know. I don't really want to rank these guys right now. Justin Herbert. Oh, this one might have some controversy. I think Justin Herbert's a franchise guy. I've always been a Herbert believer. I know he's the if man. I know he's like the Joel Embiid of the NFL, but no, I think Justin Herbert, the Brandon Staley era was kind of a disaster. He's had some good weapons this year. He's also had some injury concerns, and he's just playing through these injuries. Like, that was a gutsy-ass win against the Eagles on the Monday night, basically playing with a broken hand. Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater out for the year, and he still looked like a competent quarterback out there, I'll say. Quentin Johnston, they get him a weapon in the first round, and hasn't lived up to somebody that should have been a first-round pick. I'm glad they took Ladd McConkey going forward. He's relying a lot on a very old Keenan Allen at times as well. We'll see if Trey Harris is going to be somebody. Like, if you're asking me, Herbert or any one of these guys, I think just based off age, like maybe Jordan Love, I would think about over Herbert. Like, you can make a good argument Dak is better tomorrow than Herbert, but I think still as a franchise guy, I like Herbert. And obviously Stafford, I think it's just in a tier above all these guys. The one I'm looking at is Jordan Love, and I don't know if Packers fans are going to like that one. Bo Nix. Oh boy. Where do we get started on Bo Nix? So Bo Nix is under this rookie contract. I did not like the pick. I thought he was really bad at Auburn. And then Dan Lanning might be a quarterback whisperer at Oregon. Oh, boy. This one is tough because he's been a beast this year. And he looked so good last weekend against the Packers. Like, Broncos fans may be like, Matt, you got to throw him in franchise quarterback. Like, he made it to the playoffs last year. He's going to be the only guy from that 2024 great quarterback class that made the playoffs both years. Because Drake didn't make it last year. Caleb didn't make it last year, and Jaden's not going to make it this year, and McCarthy probably not making it this year either and wasn't starting last year. I'm going to say yes for now. I still am a little hesitant on Bo Nix, and maybe it's just like I want to see more, and that's maybe a me problem, and you could disagree with that. But I'm going to say that yes for now, but then I should just throw him in maybe. Oh, man, people are not going to like that one. People are not going to like that one, but I want to stand by it. That's my take, and you can disagree. You can disagree. Let me know why down below. Geno Smith, unfortunately, no. This year has been a disaster. First year in Vegas. I was just glad Vegas got a competent quarterback in Geno Smith, and it's been anything but competent this year. I don't know if that's a Pete Carroll thing, a Chip Kelly thing before he got fired, or Geno. I mean, the offensive line is just an absolute disaster as well, and that's why Ashton Genty hasn't really looked that impressive this year. I mean, Shador is like the guy right now, like him or Dylan Gabriel. I didn't really think Shador was a franchise quarterback coming out of Colorado. Could he be a good backup in the NFL? Yes, but he was a 5th round pick. How many 5th round picks really work out? Like, we'll talk about Brock Purdy. Like, Dak Prescott was a day 3 pick. How many other day 3 picks and onwards are we talking about here? Like, Justin Fields, Tua, Rodgers, 1st round pick. Geno, 1st or 2nd round pick. You have 1st round pick. All these guys were 1st round picks. All these guys were 1st round picks. Hurts was 2nd, 1st overall, top 10. Dak was day 3. Jared Goff, 1st round pick, number 1 overall. Jordan Love, 1st round pick. Stafford, number 1. May, number 3. Lamar, 1st round pick. Should have gone higher, I guess. Herbert, top 5 pick or top 10 pick. Burrow, 1. First rounder. So, yeah, I mean, like, I guess I could put Shador and needs more time, but I just don't think the Browns are going to go into next year's season. I just don't think he's a franchise quarterback. I just don't. And you didn't draft him to be your franchise quarterback. You drafted him with some upside that he could be a good backup one day. And I think Shador has shown flashes this year. Like, he looked really solid against the Titans. He looked really solid against the Raiders. I just don't think there's a franchise quarterback here. And I don't think the Browns should go into next year's season with Shador as the one. I think they're going to draft a Mendoza, Ty Simpson, a Dante Moore. Maybe they trade for Mac Jones. All right, so we got 3 more. Jackson Dart. I want to say Jackson Dart needs more time, but I'm going to throw him in maybe. Jackson Dart, I think, has looked like a franchise quarterback this year. He's looked better than Cam Ward, and he was drafted still in the 1st round. He lost his starting receiver with an ACL tear. He lost his good rookie running back, Cam Scatabo, with a lower body injury. The offensive line, Giants fans like, I'm not the biggest fan of, but it could still be something going forward. They fired their head coach, and the one thing that's holding me back is the concussions. This guy needs to be smarter. He needs to dive more or slide more. It's going to come back and bite him, and it worries me a little bit. But the fact that he's looked this good this year with kind of the dysfunctionality in New York makes me think he's going to be a franchise quarterback going forward, and he can do it with his legs as well. Tyler Shuck, I think, needs more time, but I think, like, these 3 guys, maybe not JJ. I don't know yet with JJ. We got to see how he finishes. Like, I think the Saints are not going to draft a quarterback. They took Shuck in the 2nd round. Now, Shuck is older, but he also doesn't have that much experience under his belt either. So when you look at a potential room for growth for Tyler Shuck, you're thinking like he gets another year or 2 under his belt. He could be a really good starter, and you're hoping in the right system he could be in this tier of guys. So I think the way he's played so far, it's in a vacuum. He was a 2nd round pick. I think there's a chance I think there's a good chance he's the week 1 starting quarterback for the Saints next year, and is building a nice connection with like Kellen Moore when the head coach with the head coach out there. Brock Purdy, yes. For now, Brock Purdy looked really good last weekend as well. I mean, it was against the Tennessee Titans. This year hasn't been the best off the massive contract extension. Mac Jones has maybe looked better at times, but Brock Purdy's been banged up this year. Also, like, Christian McCaffrey was hurt all last year, right? He's been healthy this year. I don't know if they sold his soul for everybody else. Ayuk never came back, won't come back. George Kittle's been banged up this year. Ricky Pearsall's been banged up this year. Juwan Jennings has been unhappy at times and banged up. Offensive line a disaster. And don't even get me started on the defensive front 7. So I think Purdy has looked good this year. I just don't think I could throw him in that tier 1. So yes, we have these franchise quarterbacks. We have these 7 in tier 1. You would give them lifetime contracts until they retire. Yes, for now. So I think there's a little bit of a chance they are not your franchise guy. I would say the guys I like the most in this tier are Jordan Love, Dak Prescott. I would say those 2 at the top. I think there's a lot of variance in Jalen Hurts going forward. I think he might be like individually the worst quarterback out of this group, but that's a different story for a different day. Maybe like this isn't a bad tier to be in. Like, I'm pretty sure you are the franchise guy. You're just still under the rookie contract outside of Trevor Lawrence here. And that's just what makes it crazy for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I could throw Trevor Lawrence in this tier. It really doesn't make a difference. Maybe he's not a bad tier to be in by any means. Big decision soon. I think if the Panthers had a chance to upgrade this offseason, would they? Like, if the Panthers could trade away Bryce Young and 2 first-round picks for Joe Burrow, they would do that, right? Michael Penix, big decision soon, given age and health. Kyler, talented enough, but I just don't think he's going to be back next year. And Daniel Jones looked the part at the start of the year, but the Achilles tear is a little scary. These 3 rookies, McCarthy's basically a rookie, needs more time. And no, old, already got benched. Justin Fields, we kind of know what he is at this point. Geno Smith, old and bad this year. And then Shador was a 5th round pick. So he's just like the main guy here because I like him long term way more than Dylan Gabriel. So yeah, that is going to be for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know if you did by dropping a thumbs up. Let me know what you would change about this, right? We're all going to have different philosophies, different opinions. This is so subjective. And this is just something I want to do as a fun exercise for myself. And I thought it'd be an entertaining video for you guys as well. Thank you all for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.